So this bad take comes from the worst take, I would say, the worst take of the week.
We have a segment now?
New segment. Comes from Krist Novoselic. Am I saying that right?
Sure.
I think so.
We don't know him a proper pronunciation anymore.
He is the guy that played behind Kurt Cobain in Nirvana. No, I don't want to be
the
that
tall
dismissive.
bass man.
He was the not Cameron from the Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but close. That's him.
So he had a surprising take, I guess. He writes today. So yesterday, to give a little context, Trump finally said something, and I don't know why anybody wanted him to say anything because he just made things worse. And he said there would be like it was like essentially a fascist speech, and that there would be law and order, and that there these people are ruining the name of the memory of George Floyd and all this stuff. And then as this was happening, there was a peaceful protest going on 2 blocks away from the White House, and then the military showed up and gas bombed this peaceful protest away so that Trump could just walk over to the church that was burning the night before and hold up a Bible. So
upside down.
Spoiler alert, we have that Bible. Coming up next. The Wonder Bible.
So he writes, wow.
It's charging right now.
I know many of you can't stand him. However, this is Krist Novoselic. Trump knocked it out of the park with his speech.
Ugh.
I drove from Waukegan to Seattle and back today and have seen countless fellow Washingtonians on the road. I did not see any violence, but a Tesla supercharging station at an Auburn mall was closed off by police. Is that like the whitest thing you've ever heard?
Yes.
Driving, I passed by regular folks who are already stressed by the COVID situation. Now, social media and television are looping images of societal breakdown. I agree. The president should not be sending troops into states, and he legally might not be able to anyway. Nevertheless, his tone in the speech is strong and direct. I have been watching the images in the media and thinking about how polarized our country is. I mean, even wearing medical masks in public can be seen as a political statement. The violence, and not the protests, appear as a leftist insurrection. Imagine if so-called patriot militias were raising this kind of hell. If this were the case, left-wing people would welcome federal intervention. Are you sure about that? Most Americans want peace in their communities, and President Trump spoke to this desire. This makes no sense. He's saying, like, military force will bring peace. That's not how that works. Most Americans want peace in their communities, and President Trump spoke to this desire. Never mind the legal details that few understand. Trump said he would stop the violence, and this speaks to many. It's like, who the fuck are you, dude? And the best is someone noted that in the comments he wrote, I voted for Gary Johnson in 2016.
I mean,
you'd think if he was just louder about that in 2016, Gary might have actually won. If he just had that crucial Krist Novoselic endorsement, would have put him over the top.
He couldn't have got much less than he did anyway. But that's sort of an outgrowth of like fetishizing tone in politics, like on both sides. Like I feel like the libs do this where it's I miss the days of Obama when he was like throwing kids in concentration camps and all this stuff, but he was witty and charming and intelligent and gave soaring speeches, so that made me feel good, and that's the last that I have to worry about politics and policy and bad things happening. So it's the same thing with Trump. Oh, he came out and he made a forceful statement. Well, what he said was like out of a fucking totalitarian nightmare. I don't care. He said it so forcefully. It's just a sickness. He was politicking.
That's politicking.
Today's the day Trump became a president.
Yeah. Threatened to have the military attack his own people.
Can we just start like listening to what these people are actually saying and watch what they do rather than like what kind of fucking speech they made? It just sickens me. That's what it's the only thing we care about.
Right, and also like people know that he has writers, like just like a whole team of people who tell him what to say.
I think Trump probably has the least writers, to be quite honest with you, of any of them. Like I feel like they might put a paper.
Oh no.
His
Last yesterday's speech was, you could tell that like it was workshopped like 30 times over, and they had like Jared come in and be like, all right, Don, listen, I know you like to be off the cuff, I know you like to talk about Russia, but like on this particular instance, you absolutely have to stick to the script. You cannot say anything, you know. And I think
have you ever seen a photo of like his binder and how they have to like print it out like in like
it's like
size
in 72
48 font?
Yeah,
they have to carve it into the side of a mountain so you can see it.